Okay, let's begin. God bless to everyone. Let's continue our exercise. Planning and control management, part 2 on how to establish or develop a new project. Our previous episode was session 13, which we discussed project markup cost estimate, method B, first segment. And our current episode is in session 14, which we will be discussing the same topic, project markup cost estimate, method B, but now it is in the second segment. I think the last steps we did not took up in the last session was to link the added markup elements into the existing, and also assigning activity type and duration type into the added markup elements. Okay, let's do it now. We will go to our Primavera. Okay, here we go. So we will link the activities, the markup elements activities into our existing activities. So here are the four markup elements that we added recently in our previous session. So the one question is, what are these activities are all the same as a level of effort activities. So the predecessor of these activities should start at the start of the project and will be finished at the end of the project also. So the predecessor, what will be the predecessor? Of course, the start activity of this project is mobilization. So that means these markup elements will start at the same time with the mobilization. And it will be finished also to the last activity of the project, which is the demobilization. So the relationship should be finished to finish, because they should be finished at the same time with the demobilization. Okay, so we will assign a predecessor to these four elements or markup elements. So we will highlight the fastest way of doing this is to highlight the predecessor, copy the activity ID using the Control C. Okay, click the Control C, and then highlight the activity to be assigned with predecessor mobilization. And then here at the bottom window, we can see here the clicking the tab, relationship tab, we can see two windows here. The left window is the predecessor and the right window is the successor. So since we will be assigning the predecessor, so we will be working on this left window. So highlighting the activity and then assign the predecessor, click the assign. Okay, and then here at the search, just click your cursor here and then Control V, so that the activity ID of the mobilization will be copied here. Control B, and then enter. Click enter. Okay, you can see here the predecessor already appears. Then we will go to, we'll change the relationship type to start to start. Okay, then we will go to contingency. Since we have already copied the predecessor here, which is the same for all the markup elements, just click the cursor here and then click enter. Okay, then we will, you can see the predecessor already assigned, and then we will change the relationship type into start to start. Okay, the same way with the contractor's profit, highlight contractor's profit, put your cursor here, and then click enter. And then let's change the relationship type to start. And then we'll go to value added tax, highlight it, and then click your cursor here, or just place your cursor here on, and then enter, and then change the start to start. Okay, And then how about the successor? So that means we will copy the activity ID of the successor, which is the demobilization, highlight it, and then copy this one, the activity ID, use the control key, control C, okay? And then we will highlight the activity where we want to put it as a successor, highlight it, and then here at the right window of the bottom detail of the activity, click the assign, and then the window for the assigning of the successor will appear. And then here, just press the control V, okay, to copy the activity ID. So they are the same for all this successor is the same for all the markup elements, okay? And then after that, you click enter. So here it appears the successor already for the overhead. And then we'll change the relationship type to finish. And then the same as in contingency, highlight contingency, put your cursor here of the same successor, and then enter. Then we will change the finish, highlight the contractor's profit, put your cursor here, and then click enter. Okay. Then change the relationship type into finish. The same as in value added tax, put your cursor here and then enter, and then change the relationship to finish. So we are done with the linking of the activities for the markup elements into the existing. Okay, let's close this one. Okay, so as you can see, the bar didn't change because the activity type has not yet assigned properly. So we will assign the activity type here. So we will move the column and then move it here, and then here we can see the activity type. It's already inserted. So how to insert it? Just do the column, click the short icon for the column, and then transfer the items here that we want to put here in the I want to insert in the column. Okay, so let's change the activity type into overhead. We will change it as a label of effort. Okay, so you can see the bar is already activated. So we will do the same for the contingency. We will do the same for this contractor's profit, and also for the value added tax. Okay, it's already assigned, right? So we will remove this column, highlight it, and then use this arrow to remove it. Okay, and then apply. Okay. Next, we will create a WBS, WBS label to be assigned for these 4 markup elements. Okay, so we will create a additional WBS. Let's say we will go to, we will use this short icon. This is for the WBS. Okay. And then you can highlight everywhere here and then just adjust the label. So let's say we will highlight here and then click, right click, and then add. So we will change this to so the label should be the same as the transportation. So we will use this arrow at the right side to move it. Okay. And then we will say MR key, which means for the markup WBS for the markup elements. Markup, yeah, markup. Okay, we will assign this WBS into our added activities. So we will go to the activity window, and then here we will show the column here for the WBS so that we can assign the WBS for the activity. So let's insert a column here using the short icon here, and then look for WBS. It is, we can see it in the general here, highlight it, and then move it here. Okay, using this arrow and then apply. So we can see the column for the WBS. So we will find for the, before that, we will go to the proper layout of this one. Okay, apply. Okay. We will remove the activity ID. Okay, we will reinsert again the WBS, highlight it, and then move it to the bottom, then apply. So here we can see the overhead here is under the WBS of transportation. So we need to move it into the markup WBS. So here in the column of WBS, just click it, and then you can select WBS selection here, then click markup. Okay, so it is already here. Now we need to just we need to copy the WBS here also for the other. So just highlight the source WBS, and then using the press the control key, and then click all the markup element of the same WBS, and then done. Then right click, and then fell down. So you can see it is already organized that the markup includes the overhead contingency, contractor's profit, and the value added tax. Okay, so we're done with the WBS. So we will remove this column because we are done in it already. So remove it and then apply. Next, we have already assigned. So what's next? Okay, the next thing to do here is to we will add a markup element into our project resource dictionary so that we can able to assign the resource and calculate cost for markup elements using the global chains. Okay, so we will go to resource. We can use this one, resource, enterprise, and then resource. Okay, here we will add our markup elements here. Actually, it is added here, but we have to create our own, okay? So first, let's use the plus, and then we will move it upward. So we will use, let's say, MR key. And then, let's say, we'll put the W into markup. Okay. So then we will put the four elements, highlight in here, and then right click, and then add. Okay. And then we will change the activity ID instead of R, we have put it as overhead. Okay. Next is we'll make it as overhead. Okay, highlight again, and then right click, and then add. We'll move it down, and then we'll see, let's say, we will use the CTY. So it duplicated, so never mind it. Okay. Once it is duplicated, Primavera will create its own version. Okay. So we will put it as what? Contingency. Okay, contingency. Next, we will add it. Okay, we'll move it to the left, and then we'll use the next is the contractor's profit. So we'll make it CPT. Okay, so that is contractor's profit. Next is value added tax. We will add it, and then use the arrow. let's say, but okay, the reason why, because the activity ID is duplicated, so there is a one added by the Primavera here. So let's go to value added tax. Okay. Next. What we need to do here is under the standard rate, leave it at 0 because we will be calculating it through the global change feature of Primavera. So Primavera will be the one to calculate it. So we will calculate cost from units. Of course, we have to remove that. Okay, non-labor, that is correct. This one here, never mind it. But if you want, let's change it into one, because meaning 1 lot. Okay. Okay, we will load this resources for the markup elements into our activity. Okay, we'll go to activity window. Okay. So loading, I think we are already done this loading resources into the activity. Just highlight it. Let's say overhead, highlight overhead, and then click this resource tab here at the bottom window. Okay. And then add resource. Of course, we will add the overhead, right? Okay. There we go. So the duration is 300, budgeted cost is 0 because we will calculate it later on through global chains. And the next is contingency, highlight it, and then click contractor's profit, highlight, and then choose contractor's profit here. And then we'll go to value added tax, highlight it, and then select value added tax resource. Okay. What else? Okay, let's close this one. So the next step that we need to do here is to derive a formula for each of the markup elements. So how to do it? Okay, let's get back to the derivation. Okay. Okay, we will move further. Okay. Here we go. So this is the user field and global user defined field and global chains for project markup cost estimate method B. So here, these are the parameters for the calculation of the markup estimate calculation using the method B here that we need to be assigned in our user defined field parameters. But actually, we have already added these UDF parameters into Primavera P6 in our recent method A, resource markup estimate. So what we don't need to assign it again into our Primavera P6 user-defined field. What we need to do here is to utilize these the same parameters for method B, resource and expense markup estimate, with a slight modification to a global change application. Okay, let's proceed to the formula. So this is our parameters that we'll be using. And then let's proceed to the formula here. Okay, here. First, we will be working on the overhead. So if you can see the formula creation on global chain, so it's the format that we need first to filter the formula on which it will be applied for. So we need to filter the, if using the overhead calculation, we need to filter it into our project, our current project, which is the tender B. And the project is tender B and the resource ID name is overhead. Okay, so this is the filtering. That means it will be applied only onto this condition. Okay, so let's proceed. Now we have here our A, which is the direct and indirect cost, which is equals to, A here is the total direct and indirect cost for both activity, resource, assignment, and expenses, which is equals to a total of 17,658,800. 17,658,800 currencies. So this is the result of our, the calculation of our recent schedule. This is the direct and indirect cost, which means there is no markup cost added onto it yet. So we will be adding the markup cost using the method B calculation. Okay. So let's put this here. So A should be equals to, A means the direct and indirect should be equals to the 17,658. Okay. Okay, that means the budgeted cost that will be resolved is equals to A, which is this one, 658 multiplied by our assumption is 10% for the overhead. So we'll put it here. That will be the budgeted cost that will result will be equals to the overhead amount. Okay, so let's go to contingency. So contingency, the same formula as in overhead cost also. And the budgeted cost is the same formula. We will be using contingency 10%. So we'll put it here. So the result, the budgeted cost result will be intended for the contingency amount. Okay. So we'll go forward for the contractor's profit. So in the contractor's profit, you can see here, our filtering here is the project is still the same for the tender B program with the resource ID name contractor's profit. So in calculating contractor's profit, we need to calculate the direct and indirect cost. I mean, the basis is still the same, but we need to calculate the overhead and the contingency. And then next, it will be the subtotal. The direct A plus B and C will be the subtotal to be used for the calculation of the contractor's profit. So that means another subtotal will result to this. And then next is the budgeted cost, which will be intended for the contractor's profit. So that will be the subtotal E here multiplied by the contractor's profit, which we have our assumption as 10%. So we'll move it here. Next is the, you see, so that means every calculation here from the overhead and the contingencies and to contractor's profit here, it will be carried on for the value added tax. Okay, that is why it is created here again. Okay, so we have here our contractor's profit. And then let's click it again. Then we have our subtotal, which means the last, or I mean the latest subtotal plus the contractor's profit. It will be the accumulated subtotal. And then we have now here the budgeted total cost, which is now intended for the value added tax. Okay. So this is our formula. So our value added tax assumption here is 15%. So we will put it here. Okay. So these formulas here, we will apply this into the global chains of Primavera P6. Okay. So we will go to Primavera P6 and then apply these formulas to Primavera P6. So let's go to Primavera P6 and then share. Okay. Okay, we will apply the formula. So we're using this global change. Okay. Now we will start to apply the formula of the first is the overhead. So we will click new here. Okay. And then since we will be using here the activity resource assignment. Okay. And then we will be renaming this into what? Let's say overhead. Okay. Now we will do the condition, or I mean the filtering. So we will click here. We will use the project. Click the letter P to find it. So we have here the project should be equals to tender B. Okay. And then next we will add it because the condition should be for project for tender B and for the resource ID name, which is equals to what? Overhead, right? Okay, we'll choose overhead here. Okay. Okay, right? Okay, that's fine. And then click here. And then we will apply the formula. So it should be all. That means the condition here that the formula will be applied if the project is in tender B and the resource is overhead. Okay, so click here and then click add. So we will start from A. Looking at the formula that we have derived, A is equals to how much? The custom figure, which is 17,658,800. Okay, 17,658,800. So next is the budgeted cost should be equals to A and then multiplied by 10%, which is in decimal, so 0.1. Okay, so we have already finished or created the formula for the overhead. So let's make it okay. Click OK. And then now we will go to create for the contingency. So what we need to do here to make it faster, just copy this one, highlight it, and then you can use the Control C or just click the copy here and then paste. Okay, so we will rename this as contingency. We will name this as contingency. Okay, highlight it, and then we will modify it. So that means They are the same. This one, they are the same. And the project is standard B, but the resource ID name should be equals to contingency. We have to look for the contingency here. Okay. Okay. The formula here is A is equals to the same. And then the budgeted cost is A, the same. Only the difference should be the percentage, but they are also the same. So we are done here. This is fine. Okay. And the next, what we need to do here is to create a formula, apply the formula for the contractor's profit. So we can copy this one, copy and then paste it. And then we will rename it into contractor's profit. Okay. Contractor's profit. Okay, highlight it and then we will modify it as per our project equals to 10B. Resource name should be contractor's profit. So we'll look for contractor's profit. And then the formula here, the A is equals to 6758. And then next is B. No, this is A. Here, we will make it as B should be equals to A multiplied by 0.10. Add, actually this B is the overhead. So next is the C, which is the contingency. So the same formula, that is A multiplied by 0.10, the same percentage. So let's click add. Let's strip this down. Okay, next is C, next is D, which is equals to B plus what? C. Okay. Next is E, which is the subtotal of A plus D. A plus D. No. B plus C. A plus D. Okay. Next, add. Next is F, which is equals to, no. That is already the budgeted cost of the contractor's profit. So it will be equals to A multiplied by the same as 0.1%. Okay. Let's review it. A is equals to 17,658 overhead, A times 0.1 contingency, A multiplied by 0.1, and then the subtotal should be B plus C, and here is A plus D, and here the budgeted cost is A multiplied by, this is wrong, so 0.1. It's better to review because once we made mistake, we will be repeating it again. Okay, next, we are done with the contractor's profit formula. So we'll close it and then we will go to value added tax. So what we need to do is just copy this one, Control C, or just copy it and then paste it. And then let's rename it into as value added tax. Okay, we'll rename it as value added tax. Okay, there is it. There it is. So we will modify it. Okay, the same subject area is correct. This one is correct. The project name is tender B also. But the resource ID, we will change it into value added tax here. Now, okay, then the formula should be, looking at the formula that we derive, A should be direct 17,658. Overhead should be A time multiplied by 10 as 10%. Contingency multiplied by 10%. D is a B plus C. And then we have E, A plus D. And then we have budgeted cost. Now we will change this one to contractor's profit. Okay, which is D F, which is the contractor's profit. Okay, and that should be equals to how much? E multiplied by 0.1%. Okay, and then let's add again, and we will be calculating for the subtotal G, which is equals to E plus what? F. So this will be the subtotal that we need to calculate the value added tax, or the accumulated subtotal, I mean. So G is equals to A plus F, E multiplied E plus, and then we will add again. And then now we will be, it will be the budgeted cost of the value added tax, which is equals to J multiplied it by what? 0.15%. Okay, so let's review it. F will be, we are done here already. So F is equals to, F is equals to A plus 10%. And then our subtotal, or the accumulated subtotal G, is equals to A plus F, meaning A plus F. And the budgeted cost for the value added tax will be, that is G, the last accumulated subtotal multiplied by the percentage, which is 15%. So we're done. So let's close it. I hope that the formula has no errors, so that we can continue smoothly. We close it. So now we will run now the, the calculation through global change. So first we will go to overhead. So our overhead is this one. So this is the formula. So we will run it. Now looking at the activity window, actually the budgeted cost of the 4 markup elements is now 0. But now once we run the calculation of global change, it will be populated, and it will be under the non-labor cost, and the subtotal cost will also be appearing here. Okay, so let's run it. When highlight the formula and then apply change, and then of course you have to yes. And then here is the result. So the budgeted cost for the overhead will be 1,765,880. So it looks, for me, it looks correct. So we will commit it. At the bottom, you can see there the save to file, cancel changes, or commit. So we have to commit it. And then no, because we don't need a log file. Okay, you see, the overhead is populated. Okay, we will go now to the contingency. Here is the formula that we created, highlight it, and then apply change, and then yes. So the same figure because they are on the same 10%. So this, I think this is correct. So let's commit it and then no. So you can see the contingency now here is populated. Okay. So we'll go to contractor's profit. So we'll get back to, and then we will look for the contractor's profit. Okay, this is the formula that we prepared. So highlight it and then click apply and then yes. So the value is 37805. What do you think? Is it correct or not? I doubt this one, so we will cancel it first. And we will review the formula, if that is correct or not. So that will be the contractor's profit should be how much? B is equals to A multiplied by this one, C multiplied by this one. D should be B plus C. That's correct. And then E is the subtotal, which is equals to A plus D. A plus D. Okay, and then the budgeted cost should be E multiplied by 0.10. So 10 times CD. I think this formula is wrong. So we will change it to multiply. Okay. So if we continue the calculation, we will, it is a mistake. So that is why better to review it. So we have here that multiply and then plus, and then multiply this one. I think we're correct now. So I will, so let's run again and then yes. So what do you think? 17 multiplied by this one. So this is the overhead contingency. Now, if you add it, so do you think, what do you think is correct? Okay, let's proceed on it. Let's cancel it. I'm not sure yet. A.1 multiplied B plus C. That's correct. E is the plus A plus D. And then E multiplied by 0.10. To change, okay, let's go. I think this is fine already. So let's commit it. And then no. Okay, so let's move to the value added tax. We can check the total amount later if it will match with the method A. So we can see if our work is correct or not. So value added tax, modify it. So let's check the formula. That should be, so we made a mistake here. It should be multiplied 0, then plus and multiply and plus 0.015. Okay, let's run it. And then yes. What do you think? Are we doing the right thing or not? Okay, let's commit it. No. Okay. So we can check our work if it is correct or not. Looking at the budgeted total cost here. If this, since this is the method B, it must be the same as in method A. Okay. So we will check it later. Okay, close, and then we'll see the result. So the result is this, and okay, let's create a PDF for this one. And we will show the output. Okay. We will check it later, the calculation is correct or not. Now, if you can see it here, in here, under direct and indirect, there is no markup cost in here, but it is added here at the bottom because the calculation of the markup cost is calculated separately as compared to the method A. Every markup elements are added to each activity. Okay. So we will create a layout for this, and let's say we will save a layout. Like for example, we'll save it into project, and let's say we will name it as a program proposed project program method B, because okay, then save it. Okay, actually we have already created the so we will preview that. Okay, this is the preview, so we will change the header accordingly. So we will change the header into let's say propose. We will click this one first so that we will be no problem for the letter S. Then okay, and then we'll change this to propose. Propose project program, and then we'll make this as method B. Let's change the color to blue. Okay, and then apply. Okay, so we are done. Propose project program method B. So we will print or make a copy for PDF. So click this print here, the printer icon, and then you have to select here the PDF, and then okay. And then actually we have already here, so just highlight it, and then to show the name, we will overwrite it. So just save it, and then overwrite it. Click yes. Okay. So we will see the output. Okay, we will go to, we'll show it in our slide. So Okay. Now here is our output now. This is the proposed project program method B. This is in PDF form. So if you look at the total cost here is 26,806,058.40. Let's take a quick look on our method A, if this is the same figure or the same amount. So if they are the same, so we are working correctly. So that is 26,806,058.40, and our method A is 26,806,058.40. Is it, are they the same? 26,806,058.40, and here is 26,806,058.40. So here in method A, you can see that I mean, we have no markup, we have no separate markup activities here, right? Only all the direct and indirect activities are shown here, but the markup costs are added into the all of the expenses, labor costs are added onto here for each of the activity and come up to a total amount here. That means the markup costs are addressed into every activity. While if we will look at our method B here, okay, here, the markup elements are added here. There is an activity or a separate activity added in here where all the markup costs are added here. But if you look at the direct and indirect costs and direct activities above, the cost has no markup. Did you see it? So before this was 500,000, but now it is still the same as 500,000. So that means all the direct and indirect costs here plus the 4 markup elements here, the cost of it will be added, and it will come up to a total cost of 26,806,058. So that means our work for method B is the same as in method A, except that the method of calculating the markup cost is different, but the amount must be the same. Okay? Okay, let's move forward. Okay. So our next episode should be in part 2, session 15, how to maintain and assign project baselines. Okay, see you. Thank you. And click like, subscribe, and share. So it is the end of our session. And God bless to all. And goodbye.